Welcome to the Still Unsponsored Podcast. Take 2 of episode 5 because we fucked up and did not record the first little bit.
Just the intro.
Yeah, which was mostly us talking about how we could see that we were very popular in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. We know why.
Yep.
And we know that you're there because we know how to use analytics.
Yep.
So, hello, everyone.
Hi.
In Burlington. That must be HR.
Yeah.
Mostly. Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah. And then we were talking about how...
I'm drinking water tonight.
You were drinking water tonight.
Yeah.
Right? What'd you do this afternoon, Zach?
I pivoted, and then I went shooting, and now I'm drinking water. That's been my afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. To recap what we already talked about, but...
Oh, also, I kicked your ass shooting.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Like, we actually probably should make that the title of the Unsponsored Podcast.
Yeah.
The student became the teacher. I'm still going with that phrase.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, whatever you want to do, man. You had a good day. Did you beat Matt?
No. No. I came in... I don't know.
We could say that you beat Matt, so at least one person would have to comment.
That's true.
It would be Matt.
Yeah.
To correct us.
Right. Yeah, Matt, I beat you.
Now what?
Yeah.
Okay. Different format for tonight. Mm-hmm. So we are going to do I think the wife's home. We're going to do a How Would You Market That segment. So
How would you market that?
How would you market that? Right, exactly. And then we're going to go into our main topic for tonight, which is, should you as a marketer have a side hustle? And as a manager, should you hire people that do that? And should you encourage your team members to do that?
Hustle. Every
Exactly.
day you're hustling.
Exactly.
Hustle.
Cool. Okay. So,
Hustle.
how would you market that? Let's look at the shooting range.
Yeah. Because
we noticed some flaws in their business.
Yeah.
Love the guys.
Yeah.
But I think their core competency is probably shooting, not running a business.
Right.
So,
all right. To their credit, they launched a new website within the last year.
that's true. Yes, they did.
It used to be something from like 1995. So.
And the website's better than it was.
Yeah. So there's that.
So it used to be really crusty.
Right.
And now it's a template.
Now it's a template.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they hooked it up to some shooting scheduling software. So they obviously got some kind of business purpose out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think I know, Clunk. I think there might be one of them that's a little bit more focused like that than some of the other guys.
Yeah.
But how would you drive? Oh, and the other thing is they're not hurting, by the way, right? Like they always have people there. And it seems like our experience with them is more frequently running into them having private events and us not being able to shoot when we want to, which blows.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they did want to drive additional business,
yeah.
what would they do?
So I think we already talked about kind of on the first episode about building our website. They definitely need to have some sort of way to get in touch / join a mailing list quickly.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the lowest hanging fruit where if you join a mailing list, you get an automatic discount, sort of that lead magnet.
Yep.
And then when business is slow during the slower days or hours of the day, send out an email. Guess what? Get half off, do whatever, do some sort of promotion to get people in the door and go from there.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing they could
seasonal shifts. And I would say following on to that, and this is a lot of like sort of service-based businesses, Facebook.
Yeah.
Would probably be my second stop.
Yeah.
And trying to really build that community around the business that, where they comment on your stuff.
Right.
And then I think moving on from there, as soon as you're on social media, you're going to need to be producing content. Yeah.
True, yeah. All right. So marketing spin,
or encouraging your customers to produce content.
You could do that too.
Like at a business like a shooting range, you're not going to have a lot of difficulty getting people to get out their cell phone and record what they're doing.
True.
Right. So all you need to do is just focus them.
Yeah.
Right. So whether that's signs that say use this hashtag or post on this page, or use this Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Yeah. But I think for them, so that, I mean, if you start off with the website, Facebook, maybe, sure. I think we're going to see a lot of benefit, though, on Yelp, since they're actually a local business. What could also be interesting is if they ran some PPC campaigns on, like, things to do in Austin.
True. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Do they have budget or don't they?
Well, right. So,
right. So
it also depends on how much budget.
I tend to think that those sorts of businesses don't have budget.
They do. They probably just spend it differently than we would think. Like they had a whole bunch of bowls of candy on the tables today.
Okay.
They also give the ear plugs away for free.
I guess if I said, if they said like, okay, I've got some amount of money, I'd be almost inclined to say, go hire yourself like a marketing coordinator type person, make their job like producing a ton of content for your Facebook page and your Instagram, and really like, and do a bunch of outreach to the Austin 360s. So like the events people and the newspapers and the whatever, and make sure that like you're always in the news for, or in those pages for like fun things to do, or like it's October and the best thing to do when it's fall outside is like put on your jacket and go ski shooting.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're thinking more like these are more long-term tactics. I'm thinking more like, hey, I got $1,000 to spend to get people in the door. What do I do?
Like you want them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. I guess I'm trying to build a funnel.
Yeah.
But you started out that way because you were like email.
Well, I mean, email's pretty simple. So someone signs up, you give them a discount coupon right away. Mm-hmm. Or if you don't want to, discount your value or offer, then you give a value add.
Right.
For free.
Right.
So you don't tarnish your price points.
Yeah. What do you think of Groupon?
I think in different circumstances, it works for different players. So for them, it could be interesting. Because here's the thing, like you see this all the time where a lot of restaurants will run on Groupon or Living Social.
Yeah.
They'll just wipe them out because they usually have to cough up the money ahead of time. They do the rev share, the splits, and it turns out no one ever comes back. They're just there coupon shopping.
Right.
For a place like a shooting range, my guess is you probably would maybe attract a new set of folks. But you probably also would get a fair amount of repeat business, is my guess. I don't know, though. Be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a PPC. I'd be skeptical.
I think you have to be smart about it.
Yeah, maybe doing like local, like making sure you're targeting ads and stuff like that.
Of course, that's a given.
Sorry, maps, not ads.
That's a given. Yeah.
Facebook. It's funny because we're gonna get onto this in the main topic, but like Facebook, we've come to find out is very expensive. So if you don't have,
I told you that.
I'm
glad you figured that out.
But now I believe you.
Yeah.
For an individual trying to start a business,
Yeah.
if you're or you're a small business, doesn't have the kind of marketing budget that we like, because really, if you think about it, like once you're at the corporate, like enterprise level, you're not as novel in the way that you solve problems.
Right.
Right. It's like you have a really big hammer, which is a large marketing budget.
Right.
And you get to go like, pound on things.
Phrasing?
No, that's you interpreting it that way.
What do you think?
Leave a comment on our Facebook page, still unsponsored. So we can remain that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. You know what? I like this. This is a good segment.
Yeah. I think we thought up this segment like right before we pushed record. Before we thought we pushed record, but then didn't push record, and then we kept going.
Yeah, so I think maybe what we could do is do something like this kind of every episode, but have like, all right, here's kind of short-term tactics, long-term tactics, and here's what you should be shooting for.
Right, exactly. And I think we got to go find, again, I would love to get feedback on like actually very interesting problems, right? Because a local business, a local service provider, that kind of stuff's been really beaten to death. And there are people that are like, have templates for that really well built out that, you don't need to talk to us.
Right.
Because we're much more like, oh, I've got this problem that is really difficult to figure out.
Right. Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you got a marketing problem, hit us up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll discuss your business. Until then, we'll randomly select businesses or business problems.
Sorry.
We excluded the names from that one, although you
Yeah.
probably figured it out pretty
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the other thing about that business is like, again, great people, but there's probably like some nuts and bolts of the way that business runs that,
Yeah.
could get cleaned up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Well, that was cool.
All right. Main topic.
Woo.
All right. So side hustle.
Yeah.
Should you or shouldn't you? Let's
You know what though? So, Mr. Editor, for the finished product here, you need some
Yeah.
music, like Hustlin, to segue into this.
Okay, so glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
This is where we get into the other,
Oh.
right? Using copyright material, right? So what you're thinking is you're thinking of the like Rick Ross "Every Day I'm Hustling,"
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's what you wanted, like right here. On the iTunes version, no problem. No one polices that,
Nice.
right? On the YouTube version, big problem. YouTube polices that, and the copyright trolls love to make their claims, right?
They're hustling.
And too many strikes against your account, and you lose the ability to put up videos.
Oh no! What a shame.
So not great. YouTube or Facebook Live, no idea. I got something to Google. Hey, look, we got one visitor or one viewer.
Cool.
It might be me actually on this laptop.
Just super delayed. Yeah.
We'll check out the analytics later.
Yeah. Yep, that was me.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Side
good.
hustles.
Good.
Okay. So where do we want to start? Why you should do? Let's start with why you should do it as an employee.
Why you should do it as an employee?
Yeah, or as a, let's say, as a marketer that's hoping to grow your career. So let's say you're entry level, or maybe a little bit past entry level. Let's say you got past entry level, you got your first job, you're learning a skill. Should you go apply that skill for clients other than your main employer?
Yeah, I think it's If you want to stay busy,
Why?
you learn so much more. So it's one thing to, maybe learn how to do something a certain way from one company, but every business is run differently. And so if you're running an SEO campaign, for example, for one company, it's not going to be the same for everyone. The next one you go to is going to be completely different with completely different ways to do things, different budgets, different tactics.
Yep.
And so the more kind of experience you get doing that, the more overall proficient you become in XYZ skill.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And I think that, one of my, this is like another topic I wanted to cover, which is like, I'm a big believer that experience is a lot better than education.
Yeah.
Right. And so by doing a bunch of side hustles, you can shorten the amount of time that it takes to build that critical mass of experience. Right. Because what we're looking for is someone that when presented with a problem is going to like dig back into their collective experience and know where to start.
Yeah.
Right. And so by working on a lot of problems, by working with a lot of clients, then you get that.
There's definitely some caveats. And we've discussed this many times. There's
Yes.
definitely caveats.
Yes.
So one, I think the first thing is generally your primary day job is just that, your primary
Yes.
day job. So that never can be distracted upon, right?
Right.
Like,
right. Exactly.
That's your commitment.
And as a manager, right, like when you see someone that is like maybe working a little bit too hard on their side gigs,
Yeah.
like that's a performance issue that
Yep.
you're going to have to coach the person with.
Yep.
But, as again, as the person doing the side gigs, like just learn how to manage your time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then secondary that obviously ties very close to that is, we're in a very litigious environment everywhere.
Yeah.
So non-compete, make sure you
Right.
follow your non-compete.
Right.
You sometimes, might, depending on how your relationship is with your manager, it might be good just to reach out to them first and give them heads up that you're doing that first.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually good advice for like the general population, right? Because we definitely feel this way.
The general population.
Or the general, I don't know.
The world.
Marketing manager population, right? Like we think this way, but it doesn't mean that everyone does. If you're in a really like old school corporate environment,
right,
they might not understand this.
And there might,
so
to be
send
honest,
them to our podcast.
Yeah, exactly. There actually might. I mean, there's definitely restrictions in manuals. Like if it goes against your HR handbook, don't do it.
I think the biggest one is going to be your non-compete. Right. So there's your non-compete and your non-disclosure, right? So you're going to need to make sure that whatever you're working on isn't going to, bump up against those problems.
Right. Right. But again, if the handbook says no other hustle.
Have you seen handbooks that say that?
Yep.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't think I have.
Yep.
I haven't run okay, so in my experience, I haven't run up against that.
Yep.
I think yeah, I would.
So order of operations, if we're going through school, all right, so the first thing is make sure you can do it.
Right.
Right. Second is make sure it doesn't really involve any non-competes, non-disclosures. Third, use your best judgment on how you want to approach your manager if you want to.
Right.
And then don't let it interfere with your main job.
Right.
That's simple.
Right. But so if you check all those boxes, then our opinion would be definitely do it.
Do it.
Do it because there was another thing I was just thinking of, like in addition to accumulating all of this experience really quickly, and being exposed to a wide variety of different problems, the other thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to ask for business.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that some people miss that, like, oh, I'm a marketer, not a sales guy.
Right.
Right. But we're just trying to sell via other channels. Right. So having to like look a client in the eye and say, would you please pay me? I think is a hyper valuable skill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it's probably one of those skills that's going to help you maybe not directly in your day job, but having the self-confidence to say like, hey, I'm worth this amount.
Yeah.
Is definitely.
And that could be a whole other topic about doing your own thing. Never. Yeah. So side tangent here. Never give your services away for free.
Oh yeah, totally.
You are definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Charge a fair amount.
Right.
But don't ever give your services away for free.
Right, exactly. Oh, we could do a whole other topic on like how to kill your side business. My favorite strategy is to keep raising your prices until you don't have clients anymore. Done it.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's also fun to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a manager, do you encourage your people to do this?
Not actively.
Okay.
I don't say, hey, everyone, during stand-up, go start a business. Go do your own thing.
What about in one-on-one coaching situations?
If they bring it up, sure. I mean, again, it's more about, to me, again, it's about where your primary focus is. Mm-hmm. So as long as I'm not breaking rules, again, as long as your focus is on your main job and it's not, your side hustle's not getting in the way, go for it. I can't control what you do after hours, and I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think that I'm thinking back. I think there's been a couple situations where I have suggested it. Mm-hmm. Specifically when I've been asked by people like, how do I get to this next level?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, okay, so, you need to be like functionally excellent in this area. And, you can grind it out here for, 2 years.
Yep.
But what will really help you is if you're also doing this on the side.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So maybe this is a good segue too. What is a side hustle? Because I think you and I are talking about more of like consulting, freelancing. But heck.
Sure.
Go start up a drop shipping website.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Great. Let's list them or list some possible ideas.
Like there's tons of stuff you can do depending on where you want to focus.
Consulting, right?
Consulting, freelancing.
The business that we were just talking about, let's freeform talk about a potential marketing plan for them.
Yeah.
Like that could be you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
If you're a PPC guy, if you're an SEO person, if you're a content person, social person, like, you're an affiliate person, you're, whatever, like. Yep. Businesses need those sorts of people, and they don't always need them full time.
Right.
And sometimes they're totally willing to have you work after hours.
Right.
Small businesses especially. They're totally cool with that. Mm-hmm. There's start your own.
Or start your own.
Or
And
start
that could
your-
be anything. So that's
Right.
where you could take your expertise.
Right. So this is probably a really good example of like, it's not a business, but it's a side project that we're working on that has allowed at least
Oh,
me.
you're talking about this.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I'm talking about like this podcast,
this.
right?
Oh. And you, our viewers
And
and listeners.
Thank you for being part of the experiment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like, it could be like side Instagram accounts you
Yep.
run. It could be like, affiliate marketing. I think if you roll through our work, there's many people that have their own side little affiliate sites.
Yeah.
Right. This podcast, for example, has allowed me to explore Facebook marketing, podcast marketing, which is like this whole other thing that runs very counterintuitive to a lot of our standard, sort of standard solutions to problems.
Yep.
So therefore it's fun, right? And like we called it still unsponsored. I don't expect to be making money off this. But it's a cool problem to solve
Right.
week after week.
Right.
One of the reasons that we want to do live to tape is I don't have time to edit. Right. So it's like whatever we record is basically going to be it.
If we're pushing the record button.
Assuming we push the record button.
Still on, right?
We probably had it on the computer, assuming the audio sounded okay. But yeah,
Alright.
that was crusty.
Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake. Well, you don't have a podcast if you don't push record.
Yeah. Step one.
Then you just talk into each other with microphones.
Hey, we look cool doing it, though.
And we live stream that. Yeah, exactly. So a wide variety of things that you could do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that one might have actually made it into the microphone.
Yeah. Boom.
Boom. I think that
Ice was made.
that was a door closing.
Oh, I thought that was the ice.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, so as a manager, right? You don't actively encourage it, but you encourage it when someone brings it up.
Sure.
Right. And I think I actively encourage it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just different approaches.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to say on this topic?
I don't know. I mean, it's I think we're talking online marketing for the most part.
Right.
I think if you look at more traditional stuff, it gets a little bit more weird.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? I would say, like, let's say you're a media buyer, right? Like, and your main thing is like buy, sell, like TV ads.
Yeah.
It might actually be more important for you, right? Because the online marketer is like accumulating experience doing the same thing. But if you're like a media buyer that's going to get dropped into a tech company where you're the freak, right? Like none of them think like you,
Right.
Like you need a basis to communicate with those people,
Right.
With you as the traditional media person,
Right.
As the dinosaur, you need to be able to talk to like the new code kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
Basically, never stop learning. Like that's the way I would treat it. Is use it as learning. Like this podcast is learning experience.
Right.
Just always keep going. I think it's interesting. Especially for you. Like you haven't built a website in a long time.
That was true. Yeah. Yeah.
And I kept telling like stuff's changed, man. It's easy, but it's also more difficult.
I think maybe this was the thing. I hadn't built a website with not profit motive, with like a very specific like growth goal,
Yeah.
right? So like I had built a lot of websites to test, things.
Yeah.
But I hadn't like it's been a long time since I'd gone through all of the details to fine tune them exactly the way that we want.
Right.
And yeah, exactly. Well, so there's another example of, perhaps as your career grows, you become more and more
Removed. Yep.
right, from sort of the trenches, right? And we said earlier, like the accumulation of experience is what's going to give you the foundation to look at problems and solve them.
Yep.
Right. But that I think that's perishable, right? Because your skill set does change, I think, as your job changes, right? But you're still a marketer, right? So you still need to know how that stuff works.
Right.
So it's still like, yeah, exactly. So like starting from scratch and rebuilding a website is,
Yeah.
Even if you have one that's very successful, start another one, right?
Yeah.
It's funny talking to other. So a cool thing about our industry is we get access to major podcasters, right? So I'll ask them like, "Hey man, what'd you do to start yours?" And it's funny the number of responses like, "Oh, well, I knew, this dude who's famous and that dude who has a massive podcast and this dude who's big on the internet." And I asked them for this, that, and that, right? And then it, boom, launched me.
Yep.
Right? And it's like, okay, but what if you didn't have that?
Right. What if you're starting from the bottom?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a whole other topic we could get into on like, the internet was supposed to be this low barrier to entry thing, but in reality, has that actually changed to the point where the barriers are actually a lot higher?
That would be a good entire show.
Right.
Case study after case study.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because starting from the bottom is actually quite difficult.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
On that positive note,
keep grinding, everyone. So our timer version, like whatever here. Yeah. So in terms of recording time, we're only at 27 minutes, which is awesome.
we were shooting for 30.
We're tightening this up. All right, cool. So I was also told, show feedback, to tighten up the closing.
Yeah, that one tends to kind of...
And I'm like, oh, wait, I thought of something else I wanted to say about the first thing. All right, enough of that. Okay, so if you're listening on iTunes, please rate us 5 stars. If you're listening somewhere else and you have an iPhone or an iOS device, please subscribe on iTunes. That's like by far the biggest channel for us. And we appreciate it. Find us on social. Still unsponsored. It's the Facebook page. There's an Instagram account. And you can find us. You can find us on social media. So go to the website and check that out. Website stillunsponsored.com. Anything else?
Have a great day.
Have a great day and leave comments.
Please. We want to read them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
All right.
See you later, everyone.